And welcome to another episode of Respawn Plays Empyrion. This is a special episode. It sits outside the normal episode of content that I've been posting, about my journey through the game, how I've been discovering things. The main reason for that being a new update came out, Alpha 3.4, and it included some new blueprints, and I wanted to go explore them, so I started up a creative game to kind of check them out. In this video that you're about to see, I did spawn the new vessels first, kind of took a look at them, showed them on screen. Same thing with the new base. Then after that, I actually went to the blueprints for everything else because I actually had not spent a whole lot of time exploring all the blueprints in the game. What better place to do that than a creative game? That said, I made a little mistake in the episode, and I was maybe a little too critical of some of the new vessels. Specifically, I was critical about the fact that I couldn't find the fuel tanks, couldn't find the ammo containers on some of these ships. I basically said, look, these ships are great for maybe a creative game where you don't have to worry about having to refuel your ship. But unfortunately, in a survival game, that's not going to be very useful if you can't get to your ship to refuel. What it boils down to is I'm an idiot. I had no idea that you could open the control panel and you could access your fuel tanks from within the cockpit of your ship. You can access your cargo containers within the cockpit of your ship, your ammo box, all that. You can access all that from the control panel. I had no idea. I've been playing this game for weeks. I've got 70-something hours into the game. And although this episode's getting released in the middle of some of my earlier episode of content, believe me when I say that I've spent quite a bit of time in the game at this point. I still had not found that. So, I'm an idiot. But at least it's my defense, it's something that hasn't been well documented. So all that said, when I get in, looking at the new ships, and I take some shots at the designers for not putting the fuel tanks someplace easily accessible, take my comments with a grain of salt. Knowing what I know now, I might have a different opinion. I do have a different opinion. I love some of these new ships. In fact, some of the ships that I've enjoyed flying the most were some of the newer ships that weren't quite easy to refuel. So anyway, with all that in mind, coming up is the episode in its full content. It was a quite long episode. I appreciate you watching it. If you don't watch all of it, I totally understand, but at least stick around for the first 20-30 minutes and see the new stuff, see the new blueprints. And with that, we'll go right into the episode. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm an idiot. And welcome to Respawn Plays Empyrion. So something's a little different tonight. This video is going to be outside of the scope of my normal streams that I have been performing. It's not really so much about me playing the game and me learning the different aspects of the game, and then so much as it's about me taking a little bit of time out in the creative mode, which apparently in the creative mode your jetpack is infinite, and you can keep flying forever. Anyway, it's me taking some time in the creative mode, and basically checking out some of the pre-built blueprints that are in the game. So, new release came out, and that's why this is. I should start this off by saying that is why I'm doing this particular video and doing it outside the episode of content. Recently, a new release came out, Alpha 3.4, that included some new blueprints in it. And so while my usual streams usual episodes are lagging behind by quite a bit, basically I recorded a whole bunch and have been slowly going through the post-process and the encoding process, post-process. Sure, why not? I've slowly been going through the process of getting them encoded and up and ready, but that takes time, and also I don't want to just completely flood my channel with new content immediately. So, because of that, most of my stuff has been recorded and is just sitting on a hard drive. But I want to go ahead and do this video today and get this out there. For anybody who hasn't checked out these new blueprints, I figure we can check them all out together and see what some of these new ships look like. In fact, we're just going to look at all the ships, not just the new ships, right? But we'll start with the new ones first. So first, there's also a new base. So capital vessels, no changes there, right? But there are two new hover vessels. They're hover vessel Tier 2A and hover vessel Tier 3A.
Yeah, Tier 1, Tier 2. Tier 1 I know has been there. Tier 2 I don't think that's changed. Tier 3 I know has not changed as well. Same thing with the small vessel. We've got a new small vessel, Tier 3A. But we're also going to build the other ones and take a quick look at them too while we're here. Except for this one. That is... This one is... This one. The one that you spawn with in a single-player game. Or in a creative mode game. So... Anyway, let's take a look at the first one. Tier 2A. And looks like we can just spawn wherever, which is wicked cool. If only you could do this in real game. Actually, it would probably make the game boring if there was none of the survival aspect to it. It's an interesting looking ship. Open cockpit. Masters on either end. The front is kind of a scoop end to it. I don't believe the ship has any weaponry, none that I can see. I also don't know where... Okay, there's your fuel tank. There's your RCS. And there's your generator. Is there an O2 tank on here? Or are you going to just be flying this thing around sucking up oxygen? I don't see an O2 tank on here anywhere. To my knowledge, they've not fixed the glitch yet where... and again, I call it a glitch. It may not technically be a glitch, maybe as intended, but to my knowledge, they have not fixed the method whereby you consume oxygen even in an open cockpit hover. It's got a lot of thrusters. I wonder if looks like it's pretty quick. Let's start this bad boy up. Check it out. Fairly quick. I don't think 25 meters per second. I don't know if there's I don't know if that's the max or if you can pretty maneuverable. The acceleration is not too bad. How's it do with the hill? And yeah, fail. It's gonna flip itself. Come on, come on. You gonna flip yourself? Nope. Done. Fail. Alright. So that's that hover vessel. The amount of thrust it has on the back. Let's check out the bottom over here. It has 2 docking pads and 2 hover engines. The amount of thrust that it generates is pretty significant. It's definitely a quick hover. So we're gonna leave that one there. I really don't care. And we're going to open up blueprints. We're going to take a look at another one, the starter tier 3A. This one's actually got the harvester on the front. Let's spawn this bad boy. There we go. Got a harvester on the front. It does have turrets, so we got some defense there. Looks like it's got 2 containers on this side. And 2 ammo boxes on the side. Seems like a lot of ammo. It does have an O2 station, bridge, fuel tank. And let's see over here, you got 2 O2 tanks and fuel tank. And in the back, you got the constructor. But I like the way they put the constructor headed back here in the kind of in the recesses here. It's an interesting take on it. Let's get in the vessel and start it up. Jump out now. I'm gonna take a look at it from the outside for a second here. It does. It's got 4 hover engines. So that's one thing I haven't quite figured out is when you need more hover engines. I probably should do some more research, but at this point I don't know when you should be able to, or when you need more, when you don't need more. So, I think everything I've built, well, the hovers I've built, one hover engine. I think one hover has 2 engines, but I truly wasn't sure if they were needed. But anyway, we'll start this bad boy up. chop down some trees while we're here. I wish it was full disclosure, I never actually used the harvester before. I haven't had much need for it. In my survival game, I haven't built anything in my survival game that includes, or that involves, I shouldn't say I haven't built anything, I haven't built much of anything that involves wood. For the most part, my survival game's been, everything's been built out of metal or concrete. It looks like low acceleration up to 24.2, so not quite as fast as the other hover vessel. Alright, we're, oh, shut up. Just stop the ship. Just turn you off. Oh, that one's gone. So, those are the two new hovers. Let's see what else we've got. We have a small vessel, tier 3A. I'm going to spawn one of these bad boys. Spawn them right here. We'll take a look. Got some writing on the side, ADM, Alien Defense something maybe? 18, this definitely has, makes a lot of use of the alien graphic. As far as weaponry, it looks like, railguns, I believe, and rocketry. Yeah, railgun, rocket launcher. Got some thrusters, got some lights on it. If you've watched any of my regular episodes, lights are a big deal to me. I hate how dark this game is sometimes. So it does have a constructor on it, and, bear with me 1 second here. Adjust something. It does have a constructor on it. Has 2 constructors. That seems a little excessive for a small vessel. I haven't found a need for more than 1 constructor. So where's the fuel tank, and where is the O2 tank? There's your O2 station, but where's the O2 tank? Them somewhere stupid where you can't find them? I've not found them yet. In wings, maybe? No, not that I see. Where the heck? Where's the ammo tank? The ammo box, for that matter. I don't see any of these items. Two-station railgun. Does have O2 tanks. Weaponry. But is there an ammo box? Yes, there's 3 cargo boxes. Where is all this stuff? Weapons are on fire. I have no idea where the ammo box and all that stuff is. See how the weapons do against our broken hover. Can't even tell if they're hitting it. Am I out of rockets? Really? Alright. We're gonna land this thing, we're gonna get up underneath it. Let's take a look underneath. Maybe that's where the rest of the boxes are. RCS. Where are the... It's really obnoxious. So far, my verdict of this ship is that, oh look, we can get it to clip through a little bit. My verdict of this ship is that it's, not very useful. What the hell? whoever designed this ship, yeah, it looks good, but what the fuck are you supposed to, is that the small ammo box right there? That's a small ammo box. What about the rest of the stuff? Looks like the fuel tanks. Is any of this open back here? Are there doors that I'm not seeing? This is, let me get this thing back to our base. Whoop. Flip it over. Definitely, controls are pretty responsive. But, I don't know. Get out of this thing. This is just a, that's the O2 station, sure, but where's the... I'm not impressed with this ship design at all. Can't get to any of the boxes that you need. I think... So we could see things kind of clipping a little bit. I think that maybe the fuel tanks, for instance, might be hidden. In which case, I don't know how the hell you're supposed to refuel the thing unless it's possible to. Yeah, there's a cargo box. What the hell? This is just dumb. How am I supposed to get to that cargo box there without taking my ship apart? How am I supposed to get to my fuel tank without taking my ship apart? This is... you know what? I apologize to whoever made this. I'm sure you spent a lot of time on this, and it definitely made something that looks good, but it's fucking useless if I can't actually get to the ship and my ship. How am I supposed to use this stuff if it's all hidden by blocks? Alright. What do I think of this? Where is the explosive device? That's what I think of this. Did it even take any damage? That's the real question. No, it didn't. Alright, well, you know what? You're done. Get out of here. You're shit. You're a shit ship. Sorry, whoever designed it. Ship looks good, but it's not fucking useful. Alright, so the last new content for this one. Let me get to, I know there's another way. I think there's a shortcut key to get into factory mode. I just don't know it. So the last new content, not marketplace, is there's a new base, starter tier 1A. So we're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna spawn it. Those of you that watch my regular stream, you will see that I would have seen that I did spawn the starter tier 1 base, and on the moon, my lunar outpost. So this is 1A, supposedly on the same tier as the other starter base. It's got kind of a diner feel to it, 70s diner. You know, the kind of thing that you see like on the TVs and in movies where it's not diner looks like it's built in like an old rail car or something maybe. Interesting look to it. How everything on here. Let's see, clone chamber. That's good. O2 station. I personally would prefer to have a medic chamber than a clone chamber, but hey, O2 station. I like the way I like the way things are segmented off. It gives it a little more flavor. The other starter base is, you know, one giant room with everything in it in different corners. So I should say the other tier 1 base. Small O2 tanks, small fuel tanks, and this is all for new players, tier 1 players who may not have unlocked the tier 2. If you watch my regular videos, you'll see that on my base I actually did replace the fuel tanks. My lunar base, my tier 1 base, I did replace the fuel tanks and the oxygen tanks with tier 2 tanks just because they hold more. That's another console. Over here looks like we got growing plots. Nice. Nice little greenhouse area. Like wasted space. Put another growing plot there. It's actually got more growing lights than you need, so you could expand this some if you wanted to. On this side, let's see what we've got. Consoles, of course. Constructor, 2 cargo boxes, nice. Food processor, and 2 tier 1 fridges. They're very optimistic about the amount of food that you're going to be harvesting, aren't they? What happens if I turn the base off? Did I fall off? Nope. It's just always that tall. Anyway. So that's the new starter tier base 1A. Let's see. Now that we've picked on the poor designer of this vessel, let's take a look at some of the other stuff we got. So, I truly haven't played much with the blueprints myself. I've just I've spawned a small vessel and I spawned a base, mostly because I like building this stuff myself. But, I apologize. Starter base tier 3 is the one that I built, not tier 1A. Sorry, I had to take a drink of my soda there. Anyway, I haven't spawned any of the rest of these bases, so we're gonna take a quick look at them. This is the starter base 1. Looks like it's primarily wood. Yeah, primarily wood and some cobalt, copper, iron, silicon growing plot. This would not be too bad, I guess, if you. This would be a decent base, I guess, for somebody who lives on a. Who might be living somewhere near a lot of trees where wood is plentiful. I've not had any problem with iron myself. And the biggest issue with wood is wood just doesn't hold up too well to the rigors of wood doesn't hold up too well to weapons, is what I'm trying to say. Laser rifle. We're going to test out how well the wood holds up to this. Over here. A laser rifle takes... What's laser rifle take? LR charge, that's what I thought. I don't know what it looks like. The LR, there we go. So let's turn the space on. So this would be, I think, if you take a look, if you, looking at the tiers, this would be your bare bones spare starter base, everything you need to get started in the game. It's got an O2 tank, fuel tank, does have a constructor, does have an O2 filling station, does not have a clone bay, so they're expecting you not to be able to build a clone bay yet. That's something to keep in mind. But otherwise, pretty basic, all one area. Does make fairly good use of space by using the walls. Clears everything up to the middle. I'm saying that, but now that I'm looking at how they have the fridge pushed against the wall, I'm guessing these walls are tacked to the inside. But in any case, it's base definitely does its job. Pardon me 1 second. My getting texted over here. So anyway. Oh yeah, that wall is definitely attached to the other side, huh? So does everything you need. 2 growing plots. 2 growing plots are not much for anything, but I guess it consists of 2 growing plots. We can Sending it to more damage. Maybe I just can't damage my own wall. So anyway, that's the starter tier base. So if you move on, the next tier base, we already checked the starter tier 1A, which does use more iron. Tier 2. This is a pretty squat square base. So let's take a look and see what this one looks like. Place it right here. The downside is it's nighttime right now, and like I always say in this game really needs more light. Can't get a good view of the outside of the space. It does have a gun on it. Yeah, I forgot to double check. The wood base has a gun, right? Yeah, it does have one base gun. Made it brown to match the base. Let's go inside this one and turn it on. Here's the front door, I'm assuming. Or it's a door. Anyway. Power it on. Alright, interesting design. A little bigger on the inside than the other tier 1 bases. Got some extra room, which really means more room for expansion. Growing plot over here. Just one. I'm sorry, two. I don't know why they only give you two. Obviously, they give you a growing area for big enough for more. But it does include an O2 tank. I like how they have the generator enclosed. They know something they do on. Excuse me. That's what they know is that they do on some of the alien base designs, which is it's a nice little touch. Hides it away. No clone bay that I've seen so far. 2 fridges. Processor, random console, ammo, cargo box, constructor that is actually partially hidden behind the elevator. Take the elevator and go outside to your upper deck. Have a little balcony area. Interesting base design. I guess you can come up here and defend yourself from what's it? Or, in the New England tradition up here, this might be called a widow's watch. And it's where, the old days, potential widows would watch for their fishermen sailors to come home every night. That's the theory anyway. That's why they were called a widow's watch. If you didn't know that, that's your little piece of trivia for the day. And I'm not even from New England. I just moved up here. So Tier 3A, this is the one we built already on the moon. As my moon base, but in case you haven't seen it or haven't watched any of those videos, we're going to spawn it here. I like the space design. It was a good compromise, I felt, when I built it between size and usefulness. It's got spots to land 4 different vehicles, or park different vehicles. I think the assumption is you could probably fit a hover up there. Maybe. I don't know. We'll spawn a hover and see if we can park it there. I don't actually have any hovers on the moon. Whoops. On the Kua moon. So I haven't actually tried to park a hover on my Tier 1 base. No lights on this thing? That's not. Jesus. Why are there no lights on anything in this game? Oh. Put a hover up here? Yeah, you can. You can even drive a hover off the edge, it looks like. Well, let's just turn that off. Look it out. So anyway, we'll take a quick tour of this base. Power it on. So it's a good starter base, in my opinion. Got a lot of open space. It's enclosed, so you actually have room for expansion to do, build some more, more stuff. It does only have 2 growing plots, but it gives you an area for a lot more. On my, excuse me, on my moon base, these are totally unused. Moon base, I just brought some food with me. Wasn't planning to stay in the moon too long.
On mine, I did add a health station here. Clone station is good. Clone chamber is good, but I also would like to be able to restore my health. In fact, when I first built the base, I actually forgot to, when I first went to the moon on my survival game, I actually forgot to bring any healing supplies with me. And without the materials to build a medic bay, I had to fly back down to Akua, heal up, and make sure I brought some extra stuff with me. But anyway, standard fare. 2 tier 1 fuel tanks, a tier 1 O2 tank, constructor, fridge, food processor. 1 fridge, probably enough. These bases that have 2 fridges, I think they're being a little optimistic. One thing to note, here's your ammo box. When I first built the frickin' base, I ran all over the place trying to find it. I actually finally found it right here, not realizing it was also visible on the other side. But finally, I built the base. Guns are trying to fire at something. You can hear them trying to cycle, and it took me forever to find the actual ammo box. The irony to that, the postscript to that story, is what the guns were trying to fire at was my ship. I had not set the base to faction, and so the default setting for the guns was such that they were trying to fire at the ship that belonged to a different faction. So anyway, 4 storage containers, which is good. One of the things I like about this, especially, is this is a quote-unquote outpost base for me. Got plenty of place to store all my minerals that I'm mining on the moon, and then when I'm ready to pack up and go, I just dump those out. So if you come through these sets, come through the elevator tunnel here, back here, this is your landing pad, parking area number 4. We took that random hover up parking area to parking area number 2. There's an identical one on the other side. And at the very top, which you normally, if you weren't in creative mode, normally would get to, this elevator. Up, you have your upper landing bay. This is actually where I generally park my ship. So it's up here a little higher, makes it a little easier to take off. Lighting's a little better up here at the top. Base does have 4 guns. That was the other reason I liked it. I like the fact that I have 4 guns and coverage at each of the 4 corners via those 4 guns. So at any one time, 2 of the guns should be able to fire on an opposing alien ship or drone or what have you. Yeah, that's the tier 3 base. Bear with me one second before we go. On my base on the moon, I discovered that a couple chunks of concrete were missing, and I'm actually curious what they're supposed to look like. Okay, they're just painted blue. These 2 chunks in the middle. Missing on mine. I think I actually crashed into them with the ship. So that's tier 3. Moving on. Tier 3? Yep, that was tier 3. Here's the tier 4 base. Let's spawn this bad boy. I like the way this looks. Looks to be a decent size. So, how do we get in? Yeah, so I can actually run instead of floating. Oh, I guess you get in through. Well, you can get in this way. Is this the only door? Do you have to jump over a railing every time you want to get in the base? Oh no. Let's see. Alright. So all glass design, which means it's not very durable. Would not want to use this on a in an area where you might have a lot of PvE attacks, or on a PvP server, a very active PvP server. That glass is just going to go down quick. But plenty of growing area. That's something I haven't seen yet. More growing area. Wow, this is a miniature farm. This, I'm assuming, is supposed to be your landing area. By the way, I'm assuming landing pad. So there is an elevator here. Take us to
another growing area or a door that allows you to crawl along the top of your base. The gun up here at the top. So you can run along the top of your base, I guess, and do what, I don't know. I guess just to make it easy to maintain your base. Not knocking it. When I say, I realize that sounds kind of sarcastic when I said to do what. Not knocking it. My home built base has a ramp that leads up top. Never know when you want to do maintenance or building up there. This is probably supposed to be your front door. Yeah, that's your main door. So it does have a medic station. Perfect. I like that. I realize as I say this, I'm looking at this. This actually seems to be an offshoot of. Seems to be an offshoot of the Tier 1A base. Same basic layout as you come in the front door. And it's also got me thinking, I think I picked on the Tier 1A base instead it didn't have a medic station. When actually maybe it does. Tier 1A base, right? Yeah. Okay, no, it does have a clone chamber. Yep. Yeah, still prefer medic station. But otherwise, this is the same layout in the front. Walk in, O2 to the right, clone chamber to the left. Tier 4 base. Same basic construct. O2, clone chamber. To the left, we have, yep, a bunch of consoles, containers, constructor. Sorry, bumped my mic. Bridges, food processor. On the right, we have a bunch of grass, but I think that the big difference is T2 fuel tanks, T2O2 tank, 2 ammo boxes. It's here in the other tier. You've got a you've got 2 O2 tanks there, right? We'll go check real quick. And then the growing plot area is heavily expanded. Which makes me wonder if this Tier 4 base is also new in this expansion and I just didn't realize it. Like I said before, I haven't done a whole lot of blueprint stuff. So yeah. Yeah, 2 Tier 1, and 2 ammo boxes there too. I don't want to run back through the base. So, yeah, this is basically the same start of the base, but with an extra area in the back for growing. So again, I think this would be a, this to me looks like a good area for, good base for a PvE server, where you don't have to worry too much about being attacked. Got plenty of room to grow. Get it? Room to grow. You see what I did there? Anyway, plenty of room to grow. And a landing pad. So, last one is starter tier 5, the Billy Bad Boy. This one takes some exotic, I was going to say some exotic resources. Excuse me. So this is one that you'll only really be able to build after you've gone somewhere where you can mine some Zescosium or Erestrum. I think that's how you say it. Zescosium? Erestrum? Who knows? But anyway, it's one that you won't be able to build easily. The rest of these, you can still build pretty easily. They don't take a lot of resources. Or it certainly don't take anything that you can't find at Akua. Don't know about Omicron yet. Haven't actually been to Omicron. But anyway, we're going to spot this one. This is... wow. Let me just compare the size of this base. I put in the box up near these other bases. Holy crap. It's a huge base. Pop it right here. Wow. Yeah, compared to these others, this is a base. Just turn off my fucking jump there. Turn it on. Wow. So it does have, what are these? Black turrets. There's one black turret. Probably black turrets all around on those 4 pointers. Where are those turrets anyway? Wow. Flak turret. Can't wait to see this one in the daylight. This game really needs to cycle the day-night cycle quicker. So it's got lots of flak turrets. Suffice it to say, it's like 6 maybe. This is symmetrical design, kind of an evil looking design. let's go inside and check it out. You walk in and wow, very large room. I love the red glow lighting. The use of the glow texture. Until recently, I didn't realize you could paint that. I like that. That gives it definitely gives it an ominous flair. I feel like I'm not quite evil enough to build one of these bases. But anyway, 2 tier 2 fuel tanks, cargo box, like standard fare basically. Constructor, another constructor. Is this the advanced constructor? No. Yes, it is the advanced constructor. So the difference between the advanced constructor and the regular constructor, for those of you who have not built an advanced constructor yet, is you can build advanced components. More specifically, there's certain things that you can't build, such as, oops, capital vessel, such as your tier 3 fuel tank, your warp drive. You can only build these in the advanced constructor. The rest of your stuff is pretty normal stuff. I think there might, yeah, combat steel blocks. Just hardened steel, combat steel. So I think that's the only other addition. Maybe shutter window blocks as well. I'm not sure. So basically, yeah, you can build everything with the advanced constructor. This one has 2 of them. Does have a clone bay, or medic station rather, so you can heal up. Generator, O2 filler. Something I'm not a fan of, it's just personal design choice. I don't like having to jump to get to things in my base. I would probably put a staircase in here if I were to live in a space. Or a ramp, one of the two. Let's go to this side. This side is identical. Or the same. Okay. Seems, this is a 2-person base. Or more than 2-person base. It is a base of, it is a base that several people can live in. Not sure why there's an arrow there. On one side, but not on the other. Oops. Go through the shuttered door. Got your oxygen tanks. Or your growing plots. Elevators. More growing plots. Elevators. So we go upstairs. This is your back door. Base is a little off the ground. At least they're nice enough to actually fill out all your growing plots for you instead of just leaving you some empty space. You take the elevator upstairs. What have you got? Wow, you got a whole, got another constructor up here. What's behind these doors? Large ammo box, and I bet this is the same. Large ammo box. Advanced constructor. Wow. Doors open up to the outside. What else we got? This is a big base. Yes, so you can come in here and remote control this turret if you needed to. So desired. And same on the other side, I'm assuming. Well, that's not very useful, is it? Can't, somehow supposed to open. I get what they're trying to do here. I'm not sure of the utility.
I need flak ammo. Can I get out of here? Not easily. Fuck this. We're gonna bust our way out. Let me out! Let me out! So, yeah, interesting choice. I think it's more aesthetic. I use that word a lot. I think, yeah. Anyway, I think it's more just for looks than anything else. The other turrets look like you have to jump around to get to them. It is a very cool looking base. It really, what it makes me think of is I don't know if you've ever seen Farscape, but it makes me think of some of the bases that the enemy bases. You know, the base that it makes me think of Scorpio from Scarface, from Farscape. Makes me think of Scorpio from Farscape, and the peacekeepers. That's what they were. Apologize, I was searching for words there. Makes me think of the peacekeeper technology. All right, so that's all the bases. We're gonna take a quick look. We're gonna look at the vehicles while we're here. We'll save the capital vessels for last. So, look, we already spawned one of these, but it fell over. So we're gonna spawn another one. Basic hover vessel, tier 1 hover vessel, 2 cargo boxes, 2 O2 containers. A lot of you guys watching this may have already spawned one of these because they're quick and easy. I wanted to build my own. Truly, I didn't even know you could spawn one at first. So I apparently missed that part of the discovery of the game. I just jumped right into building. So, fuel tank, O2 station. On this side, got your constructor. And up here, got your core and your generator. So, anyway. Most of you guys have probably flown this one. I hate that it has no light on it. Because really, the last thing this game needs is less light. We're gonna fly over here real quick. Yeah, looks like top speed 24.2. Fairly standard. Basic cover. Nothing too exciting about it. Yeah, let me out. So, that's the first one. Here too. This one I love the look of. I've never actually spawned it, but I've always wanted to. Let's take a look at it from the outside first. Open cockpit. It looks just sleek, fast. Looks like something you want to drive for fun. So probably a good way to get around. Yeah, I wouldn't say it doesn't look like it's got a lot of utility to it. Wouldn't say that it's one that you would use too much for on you know, for actually going out on expeditions or whatnot. I don't even see the fuel tank in this thing. I'm sure it's got one. Yeah, it's definitely got some speed to it. Definitely got some good acceleration to it, that is. Maxes out 24.5 meters per second. It's a little bit faster than the tier 1 hover, but not as fast as the new hover that they added, the one we checked out earlier. So, I do have to see if I can answer my question. So, nope, actually leave it on. Leave it on. Raise it up. Max hover height. Where's the fuel tank? How do I refuel this bad boy? It's the RCS. If I were to spawn this in my survival game, where do I go to refuel? If I refuel tank, where would I be? You know what? I'm starting to get the feeling that some of these vehicles are really just meant for creative mode. And they weren't meant with utility and design. Because right now, I'm not seeing a fuel tank anywhere. Gotta have one, right? Yep. It's got one.
So, where is it? I bet it's hidden behind. There it is. Generator on the other side. Yep. So, yeah. Again, cool design. I like it. Looks like it'd be a lot of fun to fly, but I would not recommend it for anybody in a in an actual survival game. Or if so, just be prepared to punch out one of the walls. So Tier 2A, I actually didn't look at this thing as far as where do you fuel it. Partly because I probably crashed the damn thing. Fuel tank right there, RCS. I was too excited about driving it, and then I promptly flipped it over, and that was all she wrote. Start her up. Yeah, this thing is fast. 25 meters per second. It's a full meter per second faster than the other Tier 2. I know we're not looking to win any races or anything here, but extra speed doesn't hurt, right? I don't know about you guys, but I want to get where I'm going as fast as I can. Turn it off. Yeah, I'm trying to stop the ship. So, definitely a cool looking hover. I love seeing the generator right there. I wish you could actually see it while you're driving. So, anyway, let's take a look. Moving on. Tier 3A we've already looked at. So, Tier 3. Spawn it. This looks like a good hover. A good, useful hover. Fuel tanks. I like the design of it. I really do. As your O2 tank, you can still get to it. Yeah, it's tucked away, but you can still get to it. Fuel tanks are in the wing area. O2 station. That's another O2 tank. I'd say this thing looks like it's pretty useful to me. Oh, there's your small ammo box. Small ammo box on the other side. There's no cargo box on this thing. That's something that's easy to fix, easy to remedy. But there's a fridge. Gotta have a cargo box. And that's the point of the hovers. Take it out and do your grocery runs, or your mining runs, what have you. There they are. There they are. I like this design. This one actually has lights, which is a big deal to me. Has guns. Doesn't have turrets though. So this means you have to actually fly. Actually have to use yourself. It's not too bad. Pretty responsive. This is one that This is one I would actually not hesitate to tell you to spawn one in a survival game. Yeah, seems fairly useful. I'm still a fan of the turrets a little more, just because I want to be able to leave my hover running and let it shoot down anything that may want to come attack me while I'm down in a mining pit or something. But you know what? It's not too bad. So you can use it. I do like a constructor on my hovers, but there's room for, you can find a spot to throw a constructor. Worst came to worst, pull out one of these capacitors, throw a constructor in there. So, yeah. It looks cool. I like it. I like the design. Got kind of a wasp thing going on. So, let me jump in and turn that off. That's all the hovers, right? I'm gonna turn this bad boy off. Not that it matters, but all those greenhouse gases and stuff. Don't want to deforest this planet just yet. I'm kidding. So totally not one of those guys. All right, what's next? Small vessels. This is the basic small vessel starter tier 1. Cool vessel. I like it. It was my my first small vessel. was this one. Mostly because I spun my first small vessel right after my marathon hover build. Spent 2.5 days building my next hover, and got frustrated with the design, tore it down. Um, anyway, I like this one. The only addition I've made to mine is I put a couple of extra storage containers up here. Really, truly, I could have blown out this block here and just added them in there. Didn't bother with that. But overall, I like design. I like the way the thrusters are hidden, and I don't know, it's cool. And it's got everything you need, right? Generator, O2, got 2 fuel tanks that you can get to, got a constructor that you can use, cargo box, ammo box. Excuse me, pardon me. I'm still been battling a cold for a little while here, so if you hear my voice crack or hear me clear my throat, that's why. Another ammo box. And it's fairly responsive. Or, another place where I'd put a cargo box. Yeah, it's fairly responsive. So, yep. That's one that definitely a good basic vessel. Can't say much bad about it, right? It gets the job done. It's a good vessel, especially for a single player, as somebody who just needs to fly themselves around. This one I don't know anything about, other than the fact that it required Sathium, and at the time that I built my first hover, or my first small vessel, I didn't have any of that. So there we go. View of the ass end of your vessel as soon as you spun it. But actually, it's pretty useful. Everything's right back here at the trunk. Got your tanks, O2 station, constructor, ammo, bridge, cargo box. It's not as exciting to look at as some of the others. It's more similar to the design I might make, I think. I think part of the issue is this cockpit, this rounded cockpit. It's hard to make stuff that looks good with that rounded cockpit that just completely matches up, I think. You don't have parts that can follow those same lines. You can get close, like they did back here, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? Let's fire it up. Yeah, fairly responsive. Do a barrel roll. Well, yep, that happened. I'm not the best pilot ever. And still lift off upside down. That's important. Oh, I think I'm stuck. Yep, I'm stuck. Maybe it can't lift off upside down. Maybe I was wrong. Nope, there we go. Let's roll. Roll, roll, roll. There we go. I see. Oh, look at that. Never seen one of those on my survival game. Ship doesn't stop very well if you need to stop. That's the only complaint I might have about it. Let's take a look at it from the outside. Docking clamps, which maybe are more durable than the landing gear I keep losing on my on my second small vessel. So anyway, not too bad. Not as much a fan of it as I am of the others. I don't see any forward thrusters. That's probably why it doesn't stop very well. Oh no, they're there. There they are, 2 of them. Anyway, not a bad vessel. Gets the job done. It does have some hardened steel around it, which is why you need safety ingots. So it'll take a beating a little better than the starter vessel. That's really about the only thing bad I can say about Tier 1 starter vessel is it doesn't take a beating too well. So, get back in this thing and turn it off. Oh, just throwing my toys around. Alright, small vessel number 3. This is... Same as the one that's on. Same as this one over here, right? Yep. Definitely the same. Definitely the same ship. So if you've ever started a creative game, you've seen this vessel. Not a bad ship at all. It is a walk-in ship. So you can't open the back here. Go inside. You got your 2 passenger seats sitting sideways. Hope you don't get motion sickness. Got your constructor up here. Got your various cargo boxes up here. Got plenty of room to carry cargo, which I like. O2 station, fridges. I do like the way they design these. I can't say why, other than the fact that it's kind of cool. They have these 2 little tables here. If you go through here, you got your fuel tanks, your O2 tanks. Carries a good chunk of fuel, which is the nice thing about this ship, right? It's got plenty of fuel to keep it going for a while. Same with the O2. So if you're in space for a little while, you're good. Also has 1, 2, 3 small ammo boxes. Is that right? Yeah. Alright. You get in, fire it up. Not a bad looking ship from the outside either. I'm certainly a fan of the way it looks. It would be even cooler if the pods on the side could rotate around based on thrust. I think that's kind of the effect of the design that they're looking for, but I don't think they were quite able to do that. But I have no rockets in my rocket launcher. Well, that's lame. No ammo. What the hell? But it does have 1 of each of the gun types, which is pretty cool. Come on, get back in the cockpit. There we go. We got fairly responsive, not as small and as nimble as the Tier 1 starter vessel, but this is also still gets the job done. Truly, this might be my favorite so far of all the small vessels. Between the looks and the utility, it's got plenty of fuel. Now, it probably has plenty of fuel because if you look at the number of thrusters on this beast. How many thrusters are on this thing? 29 thrusters. And it weighs 22 tons. 29 thrusters on a ship that weighs 22 tons. Probably need all that fuel just to just to get around. I'm sure it's a gas hog. I'm sure it is. So, this is the starter tier 3A that we looked at. And this is one that I gotta say, it's probably really only useful in a creative game. Otherwise, what's the point of a ship where you can't refuel the damn thing? Alright. So now we get to this one. This one I've seen. I've actually ridden in one of these. Haven't built one myself. And it's not too bad. It's a decent size small vessel. I gotta find some room to spawn it. Here we go. It's got more or less the same level of utility as this one. I think it's less weaponry if I remember right. Like 2 miniguns, 2 rockets, but does not have the rail guns. It is another walk inside vessel, meaning you can walk inside it. You go back here. Got your cargo area. Got 4 seats to sit. Got 2 fridges. It's your quote-unquote living quarters. Some small doors here for your various necessities. Got your steel, decorative steel, but you got your 2 fuel tanks. Got your 4 O2 tanks, which is a little excessive. 2 more fuel tanks. Generator. That's a lot of O2. I say that, and then if you've ever seen the second small vessel that I built, I have I think 7 O2 tanks in mine. Rarely gonna run out of O2. 2 ammo boxes, 3 cargo boxes, your RCS, or your core rather. There's your RCS. Again, this vehicle is pretty useful. 202 station. It's definitely a good multi-person ship. And you also have 4 more seats. So truly, if you're on a server with a lot of you're on a server with a lot of buddies, this is the executive jet. This is the ship that carries everybody around from one spot to the other. Excuse me. Anyway, this is the ship that this is your troop transport. It's got more containers, or 2 constructors rather, 2 fridges. No, I'm sorry. I think this is the only constructor, but it does have more containers. 3 more cargo boxes, 2 more fridges. There isn't a constructor back here, right? No constructor. Very useful. There's a second RCS though. Very useful. I like it. Gets the job done. Another fridge, another O2 station. I mean, it's just this thing is made for large numbers of people to live out of. View's not too bad out in the front either. Let's take a look at it from the outside while it's get it level. There she is. This is this is your executive jet. Take you from one place to the other. It's a very useful ship. You know, like I said, if you're on a big multiplayer server and have lots of friends playing the game with you, this is the ship you use to shuttle everybody around. This is your bus. Let's land it. Turn it off. One more. Hang on. Let me manual course. There's one more small vessel before we get to the big boys. Here we go. This thing, again, takes some, unlike the rest of these, actually this one does take some exotic materials, huh? What is this one? Apologies if I haven't been highlighting that for all these vessels. What I love, by the way, is there are bases that take fewer iron ingots than this. This one, though, also takes some exotic materials. I think, just look at this thing, it looks like it's made to fight. Well, I'll spawn it right over here. Yeah, I know, I just passed up the spot. I don't care. This thing looks vicious. I mean, it looks all angles and points and whatnot. 4 railguns, or 4 plasma cannons rather. I have no idea if those do a lot of damage, but sure as hell looks like it. Looks like they could. I mean, this one looks like your fighter ship, right? Everything's hardened steel. Does have a visible O2 station. How do you fuel it? This is going to be another one of those that you have to basically take it apart to fuel it. Oh, it does have enclosed. Oh, look at that. It does have the enclosed passenger compartments. It's the first time I've seen one of those in a vessel. It's all hardened steel. That's cool. I have another. Yep, there's another passenger location. But really, where do you refuel this thing? Is this going to be another one that's only good on going to be good on a creative server or on a creative game? And if that's the case, why have passenger seats? Not going to be flying anybody else around in a creative game. And I hope you don't have to take this thing apart to fuel it. That would really disappoint me, because so far I'm liking it. Yeah, this thing is responsive. The roll kind of is laggy on all these ships. Ooh, yeah, stops and turns on a dime. So, let's get out there. See if we can find the fuel tanks. now that everything's fired up. There's even more thrusters back here. That's cool. It's a cool touch. Hiding them with these decorative blocks. But I want to know how I refuel this thing. There's your RCS. Your RCSs. Still haven't quite gotten the hang of when and how many you should use at RCS. How many RCS you should use. That's the thruster. I think we take this thing apart till I find the fuel tanks. There's a lot of thrusters. That explains why it stops and turns so quickly and so easily. Where's my fuel tanks? It's another RCS. Jesus, how many RCSs does this thing have? RCS City here, apparently. That's the cockpit. I want to take the cockpit out. We're just going to keep taking things off the ship until we find friggin' fuel tanks. O2. There's your O2 tank. RCS. Alright, so I mean at this point, I think we've pretty much established that this is a, there's your fuel tank. Very. Can't get to that from that, can you? No. I think so. I think it's better light here. I think I can only see it because I took out, yeah, I can only see it because I took out a panel there. Go from the top. Took from the top? Fuck no. Where the hell's the top of it? Right there. No, that's your generator. There's your fuel tank. Alright. So, as cool as this ship looks, it looks like it's best served for a creative game. Because frankly, refueling that thing's going to be a bitch. And it doesn't have the other resources that you would want. No constructor does have a O2 station. I don't know why we even have one. You have to take the ship apart to refuel it, but the O2 station is easily accessible. That makes no sense to me. Nice looking ship, whoever designed it, but I'm going to be a critic and say useless. Unless you're useless in a survival game. Alright, time for the big boys. Here is the Tier 1 capital vessel. This is the small one. Small capital vessel. I'm having a hard time. Oh, I guess I just need to lift it up more. Here we go. Here's our small capital vessel, everybody. And this thing is friggin' huge. Look at the size of this thing. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let me make a point here. This is your first level small vessel. Here it is, right next to the capital vessel. Look at the size difference. This thing is big. Huge. Question is, how do you get in it? I think I've seen some capital vessels now. I think this one may be. Yep, there we go. Get in from down here. Put a jetpack on so I can make that jump. There's your warp drive. So my buddy has one of these. My friend that owns the server I play on. Here's your large generator. large ammo box. Another large ammo box on that side. The whole bottom, there's your gravity generator, RCS. Turn all this on so you can see this stuff in action. There's your warp drive tank. Not gonna be doing any warp drive anytime soon without fuel. Look how big this thing is. There's your containers, your core. You come forward here. Here's your T2 fuel tank. There's another T2 fuel tank. I'm actually surprised that there's not T3 fuel tanks in this thing. Yeah, this thing's big. So, there's O2. There's more O2. Come in here, and here's your living quarters area, maybe, if you want to call it that. Large constructor, a couple of cargo boxes, O2 station, a couple of fridges hanging on the ceiling, growing pod, so you can grow food to bring with you. Food processor, clone chamber, medic station. You can make this thing your home, and that's really the point of capital vessels. So if you haven't seen a capital vessel yet, these are basically flying bases, right? They're made to take you around wherever. You fly out into space somewhere. Maybe even leave this in space. Bring a small vessel with you. You have to dock your small vessel. Now, I hate how get in and out of this thing. Kind of a pain in the ass. The only way to get in and out is through here. But so what you do is come on, roll. This is a ship that you use to, sorry, let me, this is a ship that you use to transport your stuff around. See how it says SB there? This is made to do this. Oops. Docked. There we go. So basically, you fly your big ship around somewhere. You park it in orbit somewhere. When you get done, wherever you are, turn off your thrusters. Climb out of your pilot seat. Turn off your thrusters. And come to your little elevator here. You go up in your small vessel, and you fly into a planet. Sorry, I'm just looking at the construction here behind the. I didn't have a chance to dissect my buddy's ship. Certainly not about to go around hitting his ship with multi-tool. But anyway, this ship has everything you need. I love it. And this is just the tier 1, right? It's got everything you need for long extended stays out. Also has a couple turrets, so you land on an enemy planet. Turrets are set for turrets basically work just like the ones in your base. You can set them to auto fire on things, so it's gonna keep you going for a little while. So that's just tier 1. That's the first capital vessel. Let's look at this one. This is the one I want to build in my survival game. So at this point, I think it's obvious because of what I just said. At this point, if you've been watching my episodic adventures, me progressing through the game, I don't have a capital vessel yet. Excuse me. I'm about to build one soon, but I don't have one yet. This is the one I want to build. I'll try to find a good place for it. I want to just come crashing down. There we go. This thing. Bigger. Sure, it's a friggin' fuel. Sure, it's a friggin' fuel hog. But look at all the turrets on this thing. Got rocket turrets. Well, first of all, look how big it is. Rocket turrets, cannon turret. Where you park your hover. Of course, you have to actually put place it down somewhere level, but that's something to worry about later. Let me turn my jetpack on. Got a landing pad for your small vessel up here. And he's basically got a hangar, a little mini hangar. I think if you want to get in, I think you go in through the area where you would park your hover. So, again, you come in here, it's immediately got a medic station, O2 station. Perfect. That's what you need. Let's turn it on. You gotta see the size of this thing. So I've actually been in one of these. Alright, the fact that it's on a slant is causing some issues here with me being able to go up. So anyway, that's your bottom floor. You come to this elevator. Look how friggin' big this thing is. This takes you aft. It says aft because it takes you aft. Here's your cargo bay. It's insane how big this thing is. I can't get over how gigantic it is. Do I need one this big? No. Do I want one this big? Hell fucking yes. 9 cargo containers. Look at all the O2. Tons of O2 tanks. Tons of O2 tanks. Tons of O2 tanks. More O2 than you're going to know what to do with. Oh look, there's another elevator. I don't know where it goes. We're gonna find out in a little bit. I actually truly don't know where it goes. I haven't explored this vessel that far. I've only seen the inside of this vessel just briefly. Aft. So let me just point out 4 fridges, O2 fuel station or O2 filling station, or cargo tanks up here next to your cargo boxes next to your constructor. It's your food processor. Got a growing bay. A sizable growing bay, so you can grow lots of stuff. What was that? 8x8, right? Yeah, 8x8. So that's or 8 times 2 rather. So that's 16 spots. There are plenty of canned vegetables that way. Here's your bridge to bridge eventually. Medic station. I like this. I like the way they lay them down. It's a cool mechanic, and then they put a console at the end, so it looks you don't just see it. It actually looks like it's supposed to be that way. Cool design feature. Same thing with the clone chamber. I gotta find out if you can actually use a medic station to spawn it. Here's your bridge. Look at the size of this thing. Got a couple passenger seats. Got a couple more passenger seats. Got a looks like a window to nowhere. I mean, this thing is cool. And then, of course, your pilot seat. There's more of the ship. Like I said, I haven't even explored all of the ship. I just had a chance to briefly take a look at one. This... Okay, yep, figured. This takes you to your small vessel docking area. All up here, let's just put out rocket turrets. Cannon turrets. This thing is armed to the teeth. But I want to see where this goes. Look at your ammo box. Got tons of ammo boxes. Plenty of room for ammo. Tons of fuel tanks. Yeah, that's a freaking lot of fuel tanks. This elevator, I don't know where it goes. We're gonna find out. Oh, it takes you to basically the bowels of the ship. Tier 1 generator, gravity generator, or, sorry, yeah, Tier 1 generator, gravity, random console, RCS, looks like you probably have several of those. Look at this, you've got an engine room. How cool is that? How cool is that? It's your warp core, by the way. Your warp drive. RCS is stacked all over the place.
So it definitely lends some credence to what I read online about how the number of RCSs you need depends on the mass of the ship. Looks like we got another elevator here. I'm sure this takes you up to the other side. Yep. This thing is massive. One thing this does not have a lot of is a lot of seats. Not as much as some of the other vessels. This, for all the size of the ship, I mean, it's only got, what's that, 5 seats? Right? Yeah. That could be, extra seats needs to be retrofitted. That's not an issue. Alright, come on. Why don't you open? Actually, you know what? I do want to get this thing off slant. Let's, only way to fly one of these is from the external view. Let me get it landed proper. Alright. So lastly, we're going to spawn this quick because we're losing daylight in the game. Lastly, the big boy, the big daddy. This last capital vessel is gigantic. Just died. Wait till you see the size of this thing. This thing. Just look at the box. We can't even see the entire box, but it's bigger than that capital vessel. I might have problems trying to find a place to drop it. It's that gigantic. I don't want to drop it on top of those ships. Those rocks are being a problem. Thank God for a jetpack. Maybe I can drop it right here. See if I can fall faster than the ship. Yep. Actually, it's not falling at all. Okay. We might have to get in this thing and land it. If you don't want to spoil the surprise tour. Yep, there it goes. There it goes. So, this thing, huge compared to. Hang on. Let me just bring this over and compare them side by side. I'm going to bring this capital vessel over. All the way up. So let's just take a look at these two. Look at the size difference. Holy crap. That is huge. You know what? While I'm here, I always wondered, can you dock 2 capital vessels? We're about to try to find out. Probably not. Oh shit. Oh, that's can I push it back over? Yes. Let's set this one down. Massive vessels, but they can still push each other around like they're toys.
Somebody said this game is realistic. Who wants realism anyway? So let's just... This is the view that one would normally have of this capital vessel. Coming in... Oh look, we need a dock. That's your hover vessel area, by the way. I don't know how you get a hover vessel up there, but hey. Here we are. Docked, yes. Let's turn this thing on. Look at this. The size of this thing. It's ginormous. And I know that's not a real word, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's gigantic. I don't know how you get your hover vessel up here. It says HP for hover vessel. Maybe you build ramps after you land this thing on a planet? I don't know, this doesn't look like one that you would land easily on a planet anyway. So let's see, which side do we start with? We'll start back here. Got an airlock. Again, the game doesn't have... I shouldn't say again. So the game doesn't have, to my knowledge anyway, the game does not have pressurized rooms. So, yeah, airlock's just for show. It does have all your ammo boxes. Gravity generator, O2. I mean, this is all standard stuff anyway. Expect ammo boxes and gravity generator. It's also a freaking maze inside. Oh look, here's a fuel tank. Why is there a fuel tank there? I don't know. There is. H for hanger. But, oh hey look. There's a growing plot. How do we get there? I don't know. Let's go through this door. Where are we going? I don't know. There's a fuel tank here. Do you know that? Oh look, here's the engine room. Here's your warp drive. Behind glass. You can look, but you can't touch. There's your core. I do kind of like... That's pretty cool design. How to put your core. But, so, yeah. So, we just came back for the hover. So, okay. Elevator. Where's this go? Oh, that goes downstairs. That goes outside. We do have a way to get in. Hopefully, as you're trying to jump in, the door will actually stay open for you. We'll explore the elevator in a second. Over here, you got your generators. I guess that's what G's for, right? Generators, RCS, console. Over here, you got more generators. This ship needs a fucking lot of them. It's a big shit. So, medic station, don't know why it's here, unless they expect you to get hurt. Actually, I guess it makes sense. You've got O2 and medic right near one of the exterior doors. Might be the only exterior door, I don't know. But there's a hatch there. So, over on this side, you got all your O2. Plenty of O2 tanks to keep everybody full. And more O2 tanks over here. I don't know why they didn't leave that open, but hey, you know, whatever. Packaging's a little awkward. You can tell they were just trying to put stuff where it worked. But if you're gonna do that, why not stick another O2 tank right here? Doesn't matter. This side, FT, fuel tanks. Here are all of your T2 fuel tanks. It's got a lot of them. Ship the size should. And your warp drive tank has nothing, unfortunately. More tanks. T1, T1, T2. I'm kind of, why not stick another T2 here? Sideways. I do wonder about some of their packaging. But, you know, I didn't build the ship, so overall, the design is amazing. So I shouldn't be too critical. So C, GP. GP must be growing plots. C, I don't know what the C is for. Oh, probably cockpit. Or cargo. Must be cargo. Here's all your cargo boxes. Makes sense. Your growing plots are down here. So, I wonder, you walk through here, there's a random fuel tank that you see. What is that fuel tank there for? That's truly just a random fuel tank. Alright. That's cool. Whatever. And if you keep going up the elevator, yeah, there's more. That would be, how many floors? You've got exterior 1, 2, 3 floors. Here's your cockpit. I don't know what B actually stands for, but here you go. Cockpit. Got a war room back here, I guess. You got several console stations that, a couple of extra chairs, and that's where you fly this thing from. That view is it's a hell of a view. Oh, anyway, we're going to not fly this just yet because we have a whole other half of the ship to explore. You didn't forget about that, did you? Hope not. So let's come back down here. So we go out here to the hangar, right? Yep. It's the random fuel tank. Hi, random fuel tank. Don't know what it's there for. Doesn't matter. Here's the hangar. The front of the ship. This is where you got all your constructors. Got another medic station. Got a constructor. Got some more cargo over here. Clone bay. Now I could have thought wrong. I thought that you could use the medic station as a clone bay. As I see one of each in some of these places, I gotta figure that out. Tasty drink, tasty drink. I gotta figure that out. O and G, don't know what that's for. OG. Got another couple of seats here. Passengers. You're gonna get a good. They're going to get a good view. That's for sure. Food processor, O2 station. Not too sure about putting the food processor and fridges so far away from the growing pots, but hey, again, I didn't build this, so I shouldn't be too critical. What's up here? I actually don't know. I haven't been up here. I've only been in one of these ships once. Your captain's quarters, apparently. TV, and I have been up here. I apologize. I was on the I just said telephone like an old guy. Anyway, I was on the phone when I explored this ship, so I didn't really get it too much. If you drop down, there's all that. So, got a bed, random console, couch. In here, it's your washroom. There's your shower. There's your toilet. Now, since these are decorative blocks, you can't actually walk into them. The limitation of the game. So, kind of like the console that I was standing on top of earlier, the Holo console that was turned off, but I was still standing on top. This room, don't know what purpose it serves other than it's just a cool little place to look at stuff from. And then, go up here. No. Go up here, and you can get to the top of the ship. You got your plasma turret. Everything else. You could, probably park some more ships up here, too. Some more small vessels can probably dock up here. But I think that if this were my vessel in my survival game, I would probably want to stick another door near the back. Just so I can get out. So, you know what? We're gonna end this. We're gonna end this after. We're gonna end this with taking a bunch of small vessels up into space. See if I can dock all these small vessels. Jesus, I didn't realize the rest of them were so far. More importantly, I want to look at some of these bigger small vessels and see if they can actually fit on this hover. Or on this capital vessel. Yeah, it'll fit. Look at that. Docked. Yeah, big this thing is. That fits. By the way, thanks you guys for, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I realize this is one of my longest videos yet. I didn't realize how long it was going to take me to go through everything. I really wanted to show off the new content, so for those of you that just watch at the beginning and then tune out after the new content, you won't be hearing this, but thank you guys for watching also. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the views. I can't see anything in this ship. And even this cockpit is kind of cool. But I do need to go external mode. This where I can maneuver. I think it's so long. Is it gonna fit in here? I'm really struggling not to make it that, but she said joke. Well, I think I just made it. You know what you can do? You can just dock on top. I bet. Maybe. Yeah. Yep. Docked. Really needs a back door. Huh. I'm gonna... Oh, I guess there's plenty of room. Again, I'm underestimating how big this ship is. Wow. I'm gonna grab one more and park it just for grins. It really gives you an idea how big this vessel is. It's in technical terms, it's fucking huge. That's how big it is. Those are technical terms, right? Just so everybody knows. Technical terms. That's one of the ones that I destroyed. Tried to find the fuel tanks. That's the other small vessel. That's another one I destroyed trying to find the fuel tanks. So, alright, we'll take this one with us. An external view here. Mark this one right over here. It'll fit a lot of ships, won't it? Yes, it will. Alright. And you know what? Even though I said it wasn't a great ship for a multiplayer game, this thing did fly very well. We're gonna spawn one. So not used to this view. This thing stopped to turn on a dime. I'm just sticking around at this point. Docked. Yes. Alright. Let's, Is this thing on? Oh. Ship off. Go up to the cockpit. Is B for some reason. We're gonna fly the ship. Are we out of fuel? We're out of fuel. Where's the fuel? Is it? Nope, that's O2. Fuel is over here. I think this is creative mode. Where are our large fuel pack? that's what that other fuel tank was for. A tiny fuel tank. It's the just in case everything else runs out fuel tank. And not just a random fuel tank somewhere that's completely forgotten about. I wonder how much fuel this thing actually takes. I'm gonna look at the control panel in a minute and see just how quickly. Did I not fill that one? Oh, warp drive tank. God. Maybe that was the maybe the whole point of that fuel tank was it was close to the cockpit. It was your oh shit fuel tank, just in case you ran out while you're flying somewhere. You can quickly make it to that one and throw some fuel in it. That would make sense. And that actually sounds like something that I would do. It may not look pretty, but it's functional. Yeah, while we're here, it's creative mode. Is this stuff Pentaxit? Goes in here? I believe so. I've never worked before. Yep. Alright. Let's see. Fuel tank's all filled. 45 minutes of power. Gas guzzler. It'll use considerably less fuel once we get off planet. Because that's what we're going to do for the end of this episode. I was going to go fill the O2 tanks, and I remembered I'm in creative mode. Doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's get out of here. There's our view from in the cockpit. Look around. And we're in space. As evidenced by the fact that things got really hazy for a second. There we go. We have officially left planet. So I've never activated warp drive. I don't know how it works. We're gonna go to trading outpost. Lock target. How do I activate warp drive? I have no idea how to warp. No clue. Let's see. There's got to be a button for that, right? Maybe? Map control panel, creative menu, sport, warp drive, okay. Fly towards the target. How do I fly towards the target? I don't know where the target is. Oh, there we go. Am I gonna hit a Kua on the way? I don't know. Nope. Warping. There we go. We just completed our first warp. So, alright, I think that's probably enough. The I need to stop the ship before I can actually get out of the cockpit. Please stop. There we go. So, here we are, in space. And apparently, I was about to say, apparently the gravity generator doesn't work. It does. Kind of. I think this might be the jetpack glitch I've heard about. Oh, no, there we go. I'm, take off my
jetpack here. Undocked. Thing is so fast. Accelerates so quickly. Still same top speed, just accelerates a lot quicker. Yeah, that's what plasma cannon looks like. Supposedly there's a trading post here on this map somewhere. Local. I don't see it. See asteroids. Alright. I think that's enough for this game. For this video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you saw, feel free to like my video. If you like any of these new vessels, thank the creators. There are some very cool looking ships in this game. Very cool looking ships and some very expensive to build ships. I do have to give, even the ones that I knocked. Look, I know I knocked some of these ships, so they weren't very useful in a survival game. Doesn't mean I don't like them. Doesn't mean they don't look good. And so I really hope the creator stumbles across this video. Really hope they don't get offended. I mean, look what ship I'm flying right now. This one would not be very good if I had to take it apart to refuel it every time. But doesn't mean it's not a cool looking ship. So to all the ship designers out there, keep up the good work. Design better stuff than dock this thing. There we go. Certainly managed to design better stuff than I have. So, creative mode. Don't need a helmet. So, yeah, that's that. That's all your blueprints and that's all your blueprinted bases and vessels in Empyrion Galactic Survival. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. I have lots of Empyrion videos that are queued up if you haven't seen all of them yet. And if you have seen all of them, thanks for watching all of them. I'm really impressed. You've probably watched more of my videos than I have. I was expecting to see him ragdoll or something. Didn't happen. Alright, anyway. Thanks for watching and have a good night.